Welcome to the review of Overload, the second game I unlocked from Humble Choice of June 2020. Initially, I thought this would be a game that with better trauma would pay off the entire bundle. So how did it fare? You'll find out in the conclusion of the review. But for start, what is Overload? Short answer, it's Descent with modern graphics. If you haven't heard of or played Descent, it's a 6 Degrees of Freedom FPS with spaceships. The game originally came out in the 90s, around the same time as Duke Nukem 3D, and it was the first game I ever played in VR with friends. And that was awesome. You got to fly around mining stations, kill drones, save miners, and do it with friends using HOTAS, because our local gaming parlor had those. Also, it was in the basement with computers named Helga and Hoger, but that's another story. So, Overload is the modern version of Descent. It has all the trimmings, the stations, the drones, HOTAS support, multiplayer, VR, new graphics, but unfortunately not everything is great. Now gameplay wise, it's awesome. Once you set up your control scheme to what you prefer, be it a mouse and keyboard, which is more competitive, or HOTAS, which is just plain awesome. The gameplay in general is the same joy Descent was. Explosions are everywhere. Flying and darting around the maps is fun, and on higher levels, it takes skill to master the game, and level learning is a thing. The controls themselves, when set up optimally, are responsive, and when you get used to 6 degrees of movement, you'll be zipping around smooth as butter and fast as Flash. The enemies are varied, with semi-bosses coming up now and then to spice things up. Normal enemies are divided into tanks, snipers, suiciders and swarmers. That's how I call them, and basically that's what they do. The single-player portion of Overload does have some kind of a story. Not that I paid much attention, but it is there with intros and missions. Honestly, in Overload, I look at single-player as a training portion of the game. What I'm most interested is the multiplayer, and here Overload disappoints. While it does have local and online multiplayer, the online part is dead. First, you connect directly to player-hosted service. There is no dedicated servers or one-click play. Second, you use an out-of-game resource for finding IPs, which you copy-paste, so no in-game server browser. And third, and most important, there's no one playing, as in servers are empty. Unless you have friends that have the game, you're stuck with single player and challenges. Now challenges are fun, and there are two modes, countdown and limitless. Once you pick the type and map, you get to kill a bunch of drones, the difficulty goes up the longer you play, and you eventually die. So that's it, basically for limitless, on countdowns you might survive. The XP you earn goes toward unlocking bonuses, and your scores are remembered on leaderboards, but they don't always work. Another part of Overload that is not great is the engine optimization. While you get a lot of graphic options to modify, the strain on your computer is not justified in the graphics presented. I do admit, my PC is dated, but still getting under 40 FPS with graphics maxed for small maps and low poly enemies, it's not cool. So to keep this short, this is the summary. If you have friends to play with, Overload is a great game and a great way to have fun. If you have VR and HOTAS and friends to play with it, that's just awesome. If you don't, Overload is a decent game that you will play for a few hours and then forget you have it. So, for me, having only my trusty Cobra M5, this game was not what I hoped it would be. But I do hope you found this video useful, and if you did, do leave a like. Comment below what games from this humble choice are most interesting to you, and I will try to review them after the next review, which will be the Stygian. If you want to see more videos, feel free to subscribe, and until the next time, be awesome.